Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Investing Bros. Got a lot to talk about on the show today.
This morning, guys. Nothing today. Nothing for
Um,
Friday, June 23rd. We got a couple of speeches from some Fed people, but nothing that's showing up with the red box here, indicating that it is a major economic event on the calendar. The next thing that we have is going to be durable goods orders month over month for May coming in next Tuesday. And then next week, guys, the Fed Chair Powell is going to be making a speech again. And then on the 30th, Friday, I've been talking about this all week long. That is going to be our next PCE price index update. Inflation down 0.02%, sitting at 2.38% now. So the want stage. Here we go. Let's look at a Bitcoin, guys. $19.4 million in liquidations there. This time, the highest one, longs, not shorts.
Looking at the CME futures tool, guys, it's the same. 74% saying that we're going to get another rate hike. But the thing that makes it interesting is that Jerome Powell reiterated that we're going to need two more of them, and it could still be 2 years before we have rate cuts. And we talked about this the other day, guys. July, we're predicting a rate hike. September, pause. November, pause. December, pause. January 1st of 2024, rate cut. March, rate cut. May, pause. I think we're going to go with a pause there. June, another pause. I'll go and spare you guys details. It's rate cuts the rest of the year. The CME futures tool is calling BS on Jerome Powell. What's going to happen, guys? There's a long time. We got to sort this out. 65 still sitting in the greed. I was down here looking at the last couple of, this is MAC. So this goes all the way back to 2018. That's max. I guess were they not tracking it before 2018? I don't know. Either way, last time we were at this level was back in May. For those who don't know, May of 2023 was the last time we were up here towards $30,000, $31,000. So we're kind of matching those levels. Good news is when we got to that 31,000, we actually technically were up at about almost 70, 69, we're going to go ahead and call it. So we're kind of hanging tight, not necessarily having any divergence there. Then you go back to the last levels before that, because it had been a long time we'd been above 60 before that. And you're going back to these levels back here, back in November of 2021. What happened in November of 2021? Oh, that's right. That was Bitcoin all-time high. And those levels were sitting right above 70. We technically had one come all the way up here towards 85, 84 or so. But this is what I want you guys to realize. The greed is not necessarily going to be a killer, the fact that we're at 65, but it is putting us in a boat of saying, hey, this might not be the most opportunistic time. I want you guys to realize that we're going to make a push here. We're going to press up. My belief, guys, I'm telling you, 36 is my thought, but let's just pretend I'm wrong. And I saw a lot of people yesterday on Twitter. I asked what other people thought the top was going to be. A lot of people said 38, 40,000. Some people are making cases 42. Some people are still saying 50. I don't know what the top is going to be, but it's going to come back down again. I believe at least back down to 30, but I think realistically back down to 25. This is not the bull market, guys. Bull markets do not have Bitcoin dominance charts continuing to climb. We're still over 51 this morning. With that said, though, that's my doom and gloom. We're now going to get into the happiness of what's happening this morning. I want to start off before I get into why I think we're going to see $3,000 go up. It's something I noticed yesterday while doing some TA. Did you guys realize that this peak right here, when we came up here and we touched 30,800, almost matching the exact levels that we got to here back in May? Do you guys realize that this only took us 6 days? In 6 days, we undid what took the markets 62 days to do. That is how bullish of a momentum wave we are getting here right now. So I just want to get that in perspective for you guys, especially all the naysayers, the bears. In 62 days, the bears pushed hard and they did a very, very good job. And in 6 days, it all got wiped out. But let's get down into the specifics. Let's take a look at what's happening out here on Chart Prime. Then I'm going to show you why 3,000 is capable. Here on the daily chart, we will say we're getting a little overextended here. RSI down here is giving us a rating of about 86, 85 or so. So that's overextended for sure. On our Chart Prime oscillator, this comes when you purchase Chart Prime, we're getting our overbought orange box, but we're not getting the OB that pops up over it. We haven't gotten a red reversal candle. I still believe there's room to the upside. And again, in bullish momentum, you sometimes ignore the overbought signals anyway. It's when we come down to the 4-hour chart that I'm starting to notice some interesting things. Now, just here a little bit ago, look at how we got the overbought flash here on the 4-hour chart all the way back when the price of Bitcoin was sitting at 27,000, and then it just kind of rode, and we had a long extended box saying overbought here. The RSI was high. The RSI down here got over 100. Wow. This RSI prime goes all the way to like 120 or something. It looks like it's saying. But it got over 100 here on the, God, I forgot the name again. RSI prime. I'm going to memorize it at some point. RSI prime got over 100. The chart prime oscillator got us super high above the red. But notice that what we're doing at the moment on the 4-hour chart, we're trading sideways, and the RSI and the chart prime oscillator are moving to the downside back towards that middle. Yes, we're coming back down here towards 70 for the RSI primed, but coming down here towards 0 on the oscillator, this is a classic reloading signal. And to use one of my other favorite indicators right here, I guess you guys will find this in the second wave down. If you guys open up this thing, it's called the regression trend. You guys are going to see we have a little bit of a bull flag forming right here. We talked about this yesterday, but I'm bringing it back to everybody's attention. Come down here to the bottom of our flagpole, boom, up to the top. We move that flagpole over. This gives us a prediction of 33,504. So keep your eyes on those levels. Could be very, 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 very interesting. ADA real quick. Not going to do anything special here. It touched 30 cents here the other day. I think ADA is going to rally, guys. I think it's going to move to the upside, same as Bitcoin, but maybe not necessarily explosively. Again, I told you guys yesterday, I'm looking for a 38 to 40 cent Cardano and then potentially a 50% fall back down here towards 18 cents, maybe even deeper down towards 14 cents. We'll keep you guys posted on Cardano, but this morning, nothing necessarily special. We are overextended, so there's another reason why we think we could have room to the upside, but I'm not expecting any new all-time highs or even yearly highs, on Cardano anytime soon.
Taking a look at Ethereum right now on the 4-hour, still trading inside that platinum pocket there. Nothing major going on, just kind of grinding sideways right now. You can see that on the Oscillator Pro that we are starting to get a curvature here, and we are at the bottom of that cloud. A lot of times we do bounce with the cloud, so I would not be surprised to see this start to curve here, even if it does break out of the cloud a little bit, maybe get a 0-line bounce. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. Money flow is really high right now on the MFI here, guys. That's that blue cloud that you see behind my oscillator here. That is what I'm watching, is for this to start to come down. If it does, then I will reassess, reanalyze, and go from there. But when we turn on, let's go ahead and turn on the Market Oracle Pro, Market Dynamics, we did get a reversal up here and an engulfing candlestick pattern that printed on here. Also got a reversal at that same time on our Trend Fusion and the downtrend arrow on the Oscillator Pro here. So looking at the MACD normalized. This is the free MACD from Chart Prime. We can see on the fast moving oscillator moving ribbon here that we are getting a little downtrend, and the histogram is coming down a little bit, but it is not a really sharp drop. Until I see these changes up here happen where we break the 0 line here, I'm not going to be getting into a bearish stance on looking at Ethereum right now. Something I do want to show you, Tim, if you go over here, you'll see this thing, and to find it, you just go in here and guess what you type in? You type in Chart Prime, and you will pull up all of our indicators. And if you look right here, there's this thing called Trend Channels with Liquidity Breaks. You're going to love this, guys. It is auto-printed regression trends on the chart, and it actually gives you can see right here, this LV, this was a low volume breakout on the 4-hour. And if I actually go in and look at like the daily on this, you'll see that right now we have a low volume breakout on this regression trend. We had a low volume breakout here, which is why it went back up. So this is possible to come back down on the daily and come down this trend line here.
Probably the biggest story is that the IMF is kind of changing its tune a little bit. Crypto ban may not be the best approach to balance risk demand, says the IMF. So while a few countries have completely banned crypto assets given their risks, this approach may not be effective in the long run, the IMF said in a website post about the interest in central bank digital currencies adoption in Latin America and the Caribbean. The region should instead focus on addressing the drivers of crypto demand, including citizens' unmet digital payment needs, and on improving transparency by recording crypto asset transactions in national statistics. So, it's not a standing ovation for crypto from the IMF, but it is a little bit of a changing of the tune, which kind of resonates with what we saw yesterday from Jerome Powell. He kind of summarized the theme of these statements as admitting defeat, right? And maybe not defeat, but admitting that this technology is here to stay. It's going to be a staple of the future. Obviously, one thing I'll point out here, last week, Binance.us hired a former SEC enforcement official amid lawsuit. And now today they are adding to that hiring for their legal team. Binance is recruiting former DOJ prosecutor for their SEC lawsuit. So they're putting together kind of a who's who team to fight these lawsuits from the SEC. Binance is not giving up. They're not giving up. They're taking the Ripple route of fighting this to the death. So moving along, though, Prime Trust cannot fulfill withdrawals and must stop accepting funds, says Nevada cease and desist order. The Nevada Financial Institution Division said it monitored the solvency of Prime Trust prior to a possible acquisition or merger. The cease and desist order that was levied in itself states that Prime Trust's financial state has deteriorated to a critically deficient level. It says that the firm is now in unsafe and unsound condition, and it is at a substantial deficit and or is insolvent. So this is not good for Prime Trust. JP Morgan Bank deploys JPM coin for euro denominated payments. This is yet another thing to look out for here on the horizon. JPM coin went live with euro transactions yesterday. Germany's conglomerate Siemens AG conducted the first euro payment on the platform. The system enables wholesale payments such as clients, including large multinational firms, to transfer euros to and from their JP Morgan accounts instantly and 24/7. That brings significant improvement in comparison to traditional banking transactions, which are usually processed only during banking hours. JPM Coin is part of JP Morgan's blockchain-based platform known as Onyx Coin System, and the bank reportedly processed nearly $700 billion in short-term loan transactions via Onyx as of April 2023. So first, I want to throw it over to you, Piper. Is this something that you're intimidated by? Do you feel like you need to sell everything right now because JPM Coin is coming for all the liquidity in the crypto market? Or is this something that is kind of a growing story that you're just, only minimally concerned by?
It's noise. It's noise, T-Shroom.
Wow, you made it to the end of the video. Great job. Now, if you want more content like this, whether it be TA on Bitcoin and Ethereum or altcoins, or you just want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest news in crypto, then stay tuned and tune in to our 9 a.m. live show every single weekday morning. It's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And when you tune in live, use the keyword grip strength in the chat, and you'll get a special shout out from anyone who's paying attention to the chat. Love to see you there.